Welcome! In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to use Pure in a Linux distribution. Because the operating system I'm using right now is Windows, I'll be creating a virtual private server for this purpose. To do that, you can go to your favorite cloud provider. In my case, I will be using DigitalOcean for this purpose. I choose Toronto. Let's do a Debian, pick the right version. And we can just use the cheapest one available here, which is a $6 one. But since we will be compiling from source code, and I know the $6 one is a bit very slow, I'm gonna pick something slightly better. Yeah, we will be deleting this one shortly after, so it doesn't really matter if it costs $49 a month. For the password, I'm just going to use this one. Of course, for your actual deployment server, it will be much safer, right? Okay, let's just create a droplet. We will be using Visual Studio Code to connect into the remote server because it has a nice open a remote window feature which can allow us to connect directly to a remote Linux server. If you have Windows submachine for Linux, you can also test it directly within your Windows operating system. But for our case, we'll be using connect to the host feature. We're just gonna wait for it to finish and we'll be good. So to give an overview, the process here is, because we don't have a Linux distribution readily available, we will be compiling from source, and that requires a little bit of setup. But after compiling from the source, the usage is basically the same. Let's copy the IP address of our host, and we do connect to host, put the IP address here. Remember to put your username as well. So connect to the root as this address, and it's a Linux, and we accept the fingerprint. We need to input our password, which is this one. I randomly generated. Good. So Visual Studio will install this server stuff, and you need to enter your password again, and then you will be able to see it. So that's our Linux machine right here. We can do an open folder, and here we can open, let's say, the root folder, and enter the password one more time, accept, every file is safe, enter the password another time, and we are here. So that's a clean slate Debian server. The first thing we need to do is, in order to compile the source code, we need the .NET SDK. To do that, head over to Microsoft, and you can say, basically what you do is to Google install .NET on Debian, open the first link, and just copy the commands that's suitable for your distribution, and it will install .NET SDK. The .NET SDK is a compiler, and we will be using that to compile our source code. The most important package is this one, the .NET SDK 8.0. That's .NET 8 version. After installation, we do .NET, we do version, and you can see the .NET has been successfully installed. The next thing we need to do is to clone the repository. To clone the repository, we need a Git. So if your distribution doesn't have Git, you just do apt-get install Git and accept, and we'll be having Git. So all the components of Pure is generally usable directly on Linux, except the Windows part. Notably, the notebook interface is not available. So notebook is this GUI interface. So this is not available on Linux. But for the command line usage and the repo usage, we are going to be fine. We do a git clone, and we copy the address, and we clone it here. After the clone, we have the folder. So theoretically, if you just go to the folder, you will be able to see all the let's just show it here. You'll be able to see all the components for Pure. And in theory, you could just .NET compile each individual project yourself, but I have provided a PowerShell script that will publish all the components required for a complete distribution package. So we want to be able to execute this one. But in order to do that, we need to install PowerShell, and that one is a little bit tricky depending on your distribution. For the purpose of this Debian 12 server, there is a way to do that, to install it through snap. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly install snap on my distribution, and that's gonna be quick. And I'm going to install the Debian, daemon process for snap, and that's going to be quick. That's why I picked this more performant version of virtual private server. Otherwise, you know, stuff can take a while. After that, we can find the PowerShell. Okay, we don't need to find it. We know it exists. We just do this command, and then we install the PowerShell. Good. So after the installation, we will have the executable inside a particular folder under snap folder. We need to add that folder to our environment path, so we will be able to find the command. Basically, if you do a PowerShell version right now, it will not work because it says, you know, the command is not found. So what we do as a, you know, a quick way to demonstrate the point. But if you don't know what I'm doing here, it's fine. But if you know what I'm doing, it should be obvious why I do this. Here, and then you do PowerShell version, you should say, ooh, we have PowerShell now. Come on. Good, we have PowerShell. Good. So from here, we have everything we want. And the next we are going to do, we're going to execute the script inside the PowerShell. So we do a PowerShell. There's a publish all script. Publish. Okay. Publish all.ps1. We do pwsh. We run that one. And it's going to start the build process. It's going to take a while, so I'm going to pause the video and come back. Oh, how do I pause it? Go here, I'm going to do pause. Alright, we are done. When I first developed Pure, it builds quickly. Nowadays, it's taking a while. So after everything is finished, we can see a folder that is the publish folder. Inside the publish folder, we have the usual stuff that you would typically see from the downloaded distribution, except the Windows folder. So what we can do is, if we go to publish, we can execute the pure. I'm sorry, not .exe, just the pure. Here we can see it's running. It's working fine. We do pure -- help. You can see all the commands. Oh, sorry. Can do this. You can see all the commands, and you can, as usual, input any script file and run script. So at the moment, the import statement is not working on Linux. If you test the very typical mesh.net import, it will not work. I think it has something to do with how the NuGet is handling the package indexing. And we'll try to resolve it in the future release.